press the bell icon for more new IELTS content.
Welcome to my channel. I'm Japneet. Our today's video is on the new cue card, that is talk about an interesting old person that whom you met. So firstly we will take a look on the cues. After that we'll move to the ideas, and then later on sample. So I just want to ask you that whom you can make cue card on, like on what kind of person you can make your cue card. So here I am going to talk about Mr. Rakesh Nirula. Actually, Mr. Rakesh Nirula is a retired science teacher, and right now he is running his own regulatory body. Now, what is regulatory body? An organization is known as regulatory body. Okay, so he is running his own regulatory body. Apart from this, he is working with so many other organizations. His main motive is to protect environment, to aware people, okay, what kind of things they should do and they should not do. So this is why I admire him. This is why he is interesting. Moreover, he do a lot of charity work, and he had been invited as chief guest number of times in colleges and towns, and in villages he conducts seminars to aware farmers not to use pesticides. Okay, instead of pesticides they can use ash and buttermilk. So without wasting any time, let's get started with our video. So this is our cue card. Talk about an interesting old person you met. First cue is who was the person. Okay, the person, as I have told you earlier, Mr. Rakesh Nirula, and how you met that person. This is the second cue, how you met that person. We can talk that it was a yoga day in our school, and a function was organized where he was invited as a chief guest. So he delivered a speech, and from there I met him for the first time. Where you met him or her? In school. Okay, this is answer to the third cue, where you met him or her. And in my school, in a function organized in my school. So now let's get started with our cue. This is our cue card. Talk about an interesting old person you met. The first cue is who was the person. The person, as I told you earlier, Mr. Rakesh Nirula. He is the person on whom we are going to talk today. So how you met that person. This is the second cue. A function was organized on the World Yoga Day in my school. That time he delivered a speech, and then I met him. Okay. Third is where you met him or her. The same answer, that there was a function in our school where I met him. So now let's move to the sample. Well, in my entire life, I have met with numerous gray-haired people. However, the one who, in my view, is impressive is a social worker and a retired science teacher, Mr. Rakesh Nirula. I hold him in the highest regards, not only because of his helping nature, but also his intelligence. He is a successful person, as he received plenty of accolades in his tenure in school. He has devoted all his life for orphan kids and made some of them educated by paying their school fees. The first time I met him was on our school's function organized on World Yoga Day, where he delivered a speech on how to balance both studies and exercise. Both are essential, so it is mandatory to make equilibrium. Moreover, he motivated us a lot. Why he is so interesting is because he runs a regulatory body called Clean City, Green City, where he aware people that how we can solve environment related issues. He usually conducts seminars in colleges and in different towns. Apart from this, he is a member of so many organizations and has been called a number of times as a chief guest during functions. During his visit to villages, he usually suggests the farmers to use ash and buttermilk for crops growth instead of pesticides. Overall, I will always remember him for his generous and intellectual. This was our cue card. Please watch till end, because in the end there are a few words with the vocabulary, And please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Thank you. These are the few words which I have used in this cue card. The first is gray-haired. Gray-haired mean old people, okay, elderly people. Second one is accolades, that means awards. The third is tenure. Tenure means a position, a post, a secured post, okay, where like you are, if you are doing some job, the post is secured, and that is known as tenure. Regulatory body. Now, what is regulatory body? As I have mentioned earlier, it is an organization. Generousness, that means a person who is generous means a person who is noble in behavior. Intellectual. Intellectual means the quality of judging. These are the few words which I have used in this cue card. The first is gray-haired. Gray-haired mean old people, okay, elderly people. Second one is accolades, that means awards. The third is tenure. Tenure means a position, a post, a secured post, okay, where like you are, if you are doing some job, the post is secured, and that is known as tenure. Regulatory body. Now, what is regulatory body? As I have mentioned earlier, it is an organization. Generousness, that means a person who is generous means a person who is noble in behavior. Intellectual. Intellectual means the quality of judging. This video is presented by Sanjeev Marketing, deals in PVC pipes, steel sinks, and garden pipes, and these are available on Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, and IndiaMart.